Hello everybody, welcome back to the Barista Witch channel. It is me, Misha, your Barista Witch, here to talk about the new moon in Ashvini Nakshatra or Aries. And this is technically the first official new moon of the astrological new year because the sun being in Aries is in the first zodiac sign of the whole sequence. And so it's literally like another new year, so another new beginning. And new moons are already quite auspicious to begin with because they represent new beginnings and just manifestation and creating things, filling that lunar cup with whatever your heart desires, honestly. This new moon is very interesting because we have the moon, the sun, and Venus all in Aries, and Mercury is debilitated in Pisces, and it's UT or in the same house as Mars and Saturn. If you want like more in-depth details about these transits, you can head over to my website, get this April Cosmic Tea Guide, because there are more transits happening in April. I upload them every month, so you never are, you're never surprised by what's happening in the cosmos. So a new moon in Vedic astrology is called Amavasya, and Amavasya marks the 30th tithi or phase of the moon in the lunar cycle when the sun and the moon occupy the exact same house or constellation. And when this occurs, there is no light on the moon. It's considered a dark moon. And this Amavasya is particularly auspicious because it is also the first new moon of the astrological new year. And to add another layer of auspiciousness to this Amavasya, this new moon, the sun is Ucha or exalted here in Aries, meaning it is very, very strong, and all of the positive attributes that are associated with the sun, such as your personal willpower, your sense of self, your ego, your body, your soul, your spirit, your vim and vigor, all of those things are just highlighted. So it's a potentially, depending on where the moon is taking place in your chart, a good time to maybe get into some new physical activities, change up your exercise habits, change up your diet, especially because we're entering spring and things are blossoming and blooming. We could finally be back outside. So maybe go start going for a run or whatever you think is best for you in your meat suit at this time. Maybe start doing Ashtanga yoga. And furthermore, this new moon takes place in what's called a Kalasarpa pattern. And a Kalasarpa pattern occurs when all of the grahas, the planets, are on either side of the Rahu-Ketu axis. And for those of you who don't know, this is a very loose interpretation of story of the churning of the milk ocean to create Amrita. So imagine all of the planets, all of the grahas are personified as deities, and they were gathered together to create something called Amrita, the elixir of immortality. And the deities, the planets, they could not do this on their own. They needed additional help. So they invited the asuras, the demons, to help them. Now they devised this plan whereabouts once they gained the Amrita, they would create a distraction so that the asuras, the demons, wouldn't realize the Amrita was created, and they would go towards this distraction and the deities could drink it on their own. I personally think this is a little fucked up. It's a little shady, but it is what it is. And I don't know how my teacher would feel about this interpretation, but they essentially create like a bottle girl. They create this beautiful dancing woman who has alcohol for them and is like literally shaking it and has alcohol. So the demons are like, yes, they are distracted. However, one demon in particular, Rahu, who it looks like a snake, saw that this fuckery was going on and was like, absolutely not. I worked hard. I want my fair share of the Amrita. So it disguised itself as a deity and stood into the queue so that it could consume the Amrita, this elixir of immortality. And then finally, it gets the Amrita, it drinks it. And at that moment of it consuming the Amrita, the sun and the moon, being luminaries, saw through this illusion and was like, oh shit, that's a fucking demon, and ordered its head to be removed. So Lord Krishna took his discus and whoosh, cut off this demon's head. However, since it drank this Amrita, the elixir of immortality, it was already immortal. All that happened was that the demon separated into two separate parts, its head being Rahu and its tail being what we call Ketu. Rahu is known in Western stuff as the north node of the moon, and Ketu is the south node. And since it had consumed this Amrita, it was still alive. So in its rage at being beheaded, Rahu, the head of this demon, swallowed the sun and the moon whole. However, since it had no body, the sun and the moon simply passed through. And that's where we get eclipses from, when the sun and the moon align on the Rahu-Ketu axis. So, long story short, these two grahas, or these two bodies, they're always opposite each other on the chart, because it's this snake that's just simply cut in half. So Kala Sarpa occurs when all of the grahas are on either side of the Rahu Ketu axis. And that's occurring during this new moon. The sun and the moon are in Ashvini Nakshatra. Mars, Mercury, and Saturn are in Uttara Bhadrapada, which is part of Pisces. Venus is in Kritika, the last 27 degrees of Aries before it enters Taurus in a few days. And Jupiter is in Punarvasu on the Gemini side. And when Kala Sarpa occurs, it just intensifies and heightens anything or any transits, any combinations that are occurring. So this Amavasya moon in Ashvini Nakshatra is even more auspicious. So let's pull some cards to see what is the energy of this new moon for us, and what kind of new beginnings can we expect? Like, how would this shape our life? And if you want to know more about how this moon in particular will affect you, go to my website, link is in the bio. We can book a reading, because sure, this new moon is occurring, but where is it happening in your chart? Because it's all based on transits in the houses and where it's happening. So for you may be a rising Aries. It may be occurring in your first house. For someone who's a rising Taurus, it's in their 12th house. It's very dependent. Okay. Ooh, we pulled a card called terrarium. This is the phrase associated with this. It is those foundations weave with mindfulness that will long sustain you. Okay, and I do like that. For the purposes of new beginnings, foundations. So as always, I will read the booklet and then we shall get into it. So keywords: contained ecosystems, developing structures, building. Terrariums are beautiful garden systems that come in a variety of shapes and sizes and add a little greenery to any space, helping to inspire beauty and reduce stress. One of the best things about terrariums is that they are low maintenance, thanks to their contained ecosystem. The system feeds itself, requiring very little external help, and is a perfectly harmonious balance of the elements and structures needed to ensure sustainable success. However, it doesn't happen overnight. It has to build, starting from the base and adding the right blend of components to support the whole. You are in need of a practical ecosystem of your own. This card represents the practical, boring steps that will lead to beauty and, of course, success down the road. Actions such as organization, time management, practice, and patience all come to mind. This is your call to slow down and work through each step with diligence, while also recognizing that failure is part of the process. As you add elements, you will learn what works and what does not, adjusting as you go. Additionally, you are reminded that you cannot skip ahead of any one part of your journey. You may wish your situation was moving faster, or you're looking for a way to make things easier. But this card is confirmation that this pace and the challenges that have come with it are the way forward. There are no additional shortcuts to take if you desire a successful outcome. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. And this new moon, again, it's all about new beginnings. It's the astrological new year. Having a good foundation for your year is paramount. So for example, the actual chart, the transit chart, the gochara of this new moon has a Taurus ascendant. So if you are a rising Taurus, this new moon will be taking place in your 12th house. And one of the significations of the 12th house is sleep. So maybe having a new foundation for a sleep schedule in your life, maybe waking up at a certain time, maybe a new foundation for your eating habits or your workout routine. This also mentioned organization in some way. So organizing your desk, organizing your schedule, organizing yourself to really set yourself up for success. And probably some things came to mind. Get your notebook out, write down what you need to do to organize yourself, and honestly do it. Don't just make the list and then forget about it. Take action. We've had so many opportunities for New Year's in 2026 already, with the Gregorian calendar of the new year on January 1st. We've had the Chinese Lunar New Year. This is the final one this new year, with the actual transit being in Aries. And not only in Aries, it's in Ashvini Nakshatra, the first nakshatra of Aries. And Ashvini, its symbol, it's pratima, as a horse. And think about horses. They are full of energy. They move at a very fast pace. There's this ebb and flow of prana and just movement, moving things forwards, manifesting your goals. When I was studying this in my classes with my teacher, we used Serena Williams as our Ashvini native, and she is a fucking powerhouse. So think about the different ways in your life and how you can really start to organize. And when you create these structures, when you create this organization, it's something that, like a terrarium, should be self-sustaining. So it becomes part of your daily habits, part of your daily routines. For example, maybe you start organizing your sleep schedule. Maybe you wake up and go to bed at the same time so that you can really start to see how many hours in a day you have to get your things done. I was thinking, what other messages does the universe have in store for us for this moon and Amavasya? And we have two cards that flipped over. The first card is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is one of the major arcana cards. And if you want to learn some tarot, head on over to patreon.com/thebaristawitch, where you can join the Arcana Academy, where I am teaching you tarot. I've already uploaded literally all of the major arcana. So go to Patreon, binge them all, and start the process. Start your journey, start your foundation, becoming a very confident, amazing tarot reader. So the Hierophant represents the importance of passing down wisdoms and traditions. And this card shows up when maybe it's time for you to get a teacher in your life. And this is someone who can share wisdom with you, maybe someone who can share how to have a good foundation, someone who can share their tips for organization. So inviting someone in your life who you trust, maybe reconnecting with the teacher, especially if, let's say, for example, one of the things that you want to do for your new beginning is learn a craft. You need a teacher to help you really hone in on that craft. And it is so beneficial to have a teacher, someone who has journeyed before you, who has taken this path, who can guide you and help you and answer any questions. So perhaps seek a teacher. Maybe someone came to mind. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So Pentacles represents finite things such as our time and our money. And the Knight of Pentacles represents slow and steady wins the race. So whatever this new beginning, this change, this organization is, it's something that you're gonna have to cultivate over a period of time. It's not something that's gonna happen overnight. There may be a bit of like trial and error of seeing like, you know what, I tried that didn't work. And be flexible. Don't be so rigid and needing to stick to something. If it's not working, change it. And this is long-lasting change. The Knight of Pentacles literally represents bringing about a needed and lasting change and being slow, steady, and really thoughtful and mindful. This is having persistence, being diligent in that task. So like we were talking about earlier, once you figure out what it is you want to do, stick to it every single day until it becomes an ingratiated habit. And if you fall off, begin again. Notice what made you maybe fall off if that happens, and modify, adapt, you know? Who made the rules? You made the rules. And ultimately, the Knight of Pentacles also represents patience and endurance that will reward you financially. So it could even be, for example, maybe only going out for coffee or drinks with friends and not always going out and spending money. That's a slow and deliberate, long-lasting change that will reward you. We had two more cards fall out. Oh my. So we got the Magician and then Death. So first of all, the fact that we have three major arcana right off the bat, this new moon ain't playing. Okay. So first and foremost, the Magician card, this is the law of attraction. This is manifesting. And just like the Magician, you have the tools that you need to manifest. You have the resources, you have the knowledge, the time, the intelligence. You don't need to go out and purchase anything else or do anything, or acquire anything. You have the resources that you need. So maybe it takes changing your mind a little bit, looking at your life, looking at your structures and trying to rework them in ways that work for you. When the Magician card shows up in a reading, this is a challenge to ask yourself, what will you do with the resources you have right in front of you? How will you use them? How will you manifest them? For example, if you want to be a content creator, you don't need to go out and buy a fancy camera, fancy microphone, fancy lights. You have a phone that you're probably watching this on, or an iPad or something. Use that. It doesn't have to be, you know, some overly produced project. As long as you do your best and then over time, develop your skill. Develop what your thing is. The Magician card represents we light up what we focus our attention on. So be mindful what you focus on. Be mindful what you pour your energy into, especially because new moons represent new beginnings and planting these seeds, this manifestation for the things that we want to bloom and blossom in our life. Notice what you're putting your attention on. Make sure it's something that genuinely will serve you. Maybe don't focus on, you know, a man, because at the end of the day, why would a man be there? Anyway, but notice what you focus your attention on. Thoughts become things, our words are spells. So be very mindful with your intentions and how you use your intentions. Be very mindful. And then we got the fucking death card. Literally the death card showing up. This isn't like you're literally dying. It's not that. So please don't, you know, fear. The death card is change, evolution, letting go. And this is in order to release what no longer serves you, in order to move forward and to elevate and grow. So for example, if you want a new wardrobe, maybe go into your closet, get rid of the clothes that you don't wear, get rid of that old energy, clear out your closet, make some room. Notice what you need to let go of. It could be old thoughts, habits, people in your life, making the same choices over and over. It's time to make a change. And this being in the same line as the Magician and this Terrarium card, this is so far off to a really good start for this astrological new year. And if you're liking the video so far, please remember to like, subscribe, share all the things with your friends, blah, blah, blah. Support your local Black witch, because why wouldn't you do that? And also, cheers. Happy new moon to you all. We have a card that's kind of sticking out. Ooh, this is, this card is Bury Your Dead. I don't think it's a coincidence that we got basically the death card twice in a reading. This moment asks you to let go. Sometimes you just need to bury your dead rather than hanging on to what's no longer vital. When a dream dies or a plan fails or a relationship ends, there must be grief before closure. Otherwise, you cling to what no longer has life force. Your own attachment becomes a burden, draining you of your vital energy and lifeblood. Do what you must to honor the passing. Create a ceremony, shape a memorial, enact a ritual. Even though it can be the toughest thing to hear, this passing is happening for you, not to you. Whatever helps you separate from the ending and turn toward your new beginning is what you need right now. Right, exactly. Let go. What are you still holding on to? I'm gonna place this right by the death card. It's time to let go of the things that no longer serve you. So things that come to mind right away. Stop creeping on your ex on social media. You're done with them. Let them go. Move on. The relationship is over. Old clothes that you no longer wear because it's not even your aesthetic, that no longer fit you properly, that's lost its shape, donate them. Get rid of it. Let go. Because if you clinging to whatever that thing is was actually serving you, wouldn't it have worked already? Exactly. So notice where you're holding on to shit. And listen, I'm not saying it's easy. It could be scary, especially if it's like a job situation and you need to switch career paths or jobs, maybe friend circles, letting go of like a toxic friend or friend group. That can be a bit nerve-wracking because it's like maybe a fear of being alone. But again, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. Letting go of something that no longer serves you, it really starts to give you the tools to be self-sufficient, to figure out another solution, to use the energy of the Magician to create and manifest. You have the tools already in front of you. Are you gonna use them? I think you should. So, unconditional self-acceptance. Exactly. Self-healing is guided by the wisdom of the medicine woman who lives inside of you. Just as the raven is connected to the material world and the underworld, The raven's bright, dark power warns you to get up from the table when love is no longer being served. People show you who they are through their actions. Your job is to believe them the first time. Instead of looking outward, expecting people or circumstances to change so you can feel better, challenge your own thoughts and belief with loving care. That is where your power lies. Yes, this is what we have been saying this entire reading. It is time for you to let go of what no longer serves you. Notice if you're holding on to a past wound, a past story. I have people all the time asking me questions about, oh, well, this ex, and will I get back together with them? First of all, stop. Secondly, do you go dumpster diving? Do you go into the trash can and pick out stuff to like wear or eat or anything like that? No. So why are you dumpster diving for your ex? Leave the trash in the trash. Like, what are we doing? You have to love yourself, because if you genuinely love yourself, there are just certain environments, behaviors from other people, behaviors from yourself that are just unacceptable. Unacceptable. When you're in a relationship, you're going to treat them with kindness and dignity and respect because you love them. You're not going to be rude or disrespectful or weird, because that's not love. You have to treat yourself the same way. Notice if you are holding on to things that are actually fucking heinous and really not even good for you, okay? But this is the chart, like the birth chart of this new astrological year. I'm excited for it. I mean, it's very intense, especially with Mercury being debilitated. Ooh, we had a card flip over. Okay. So we have the King of Wands, and Wands represents fire, passion, and the King is the highest card of any of the suits. And this is the highest card of the suit of Wands. The King of Wands is a passionate leader, someone who breaks societal norms, and this is the energy of going after what you want unapologetically, having this burning passion, this desire to chase after your dreams and not fear any obstacles, any like quote unquote competition. This is just being so confident in yourself and your ability, and confident in knowing what you want, that there's nothing that can get in the fucking way. You know what I mean? The King of Wands represents someone who is self-made and lacking nothing if you have a passion for your craft, because you will always be inspired. I honestly think of my tattoo artist as like the King of Wands energy. When I tell you, this woman is constantly creating and constantly coming up with new flash sheets for days when she's tattooing at the shop, or different cool like merch ideas, or like posters, or she's so passionate about her art and her creativity. She's not running around like trying to put other people down. She's so confident in herself and in her ability that this is her path, and it's pretty obvious. Like, she's meant to do this. She's fucking incredible at it, and that's why she gets flown out all over the world to do it, because there's no other option. Try to embody that. Figure out what that is for you. You don't have to know right now, but work towards that goal of whatever you do that just feels effortless, that you lose track of time while doing. Do that. Try to do that. Ooh, we have, oh, I love this card, the Queen of Swords. And swords represents your intellect, your mind, your speech, your thoughts, your words. And the Queen of Swords, I wrote down, is Ravenclaw energy. This is being very mature and direct with your speech. So using your words, using your directness to be firm and establish boundaries, not in a way to like put people down or to make people feel stupid, but in a way to also let people know, go play somewhere else. This isn't a safe thing to do. You know what I mean? The Queen of Swords is always honest, articulate, speaking wisdom and truth. This is having the mental fortitude to withstand something that's difficult, which, yeah, starting over, new beginnings can be a little bit difficult, but if you're honest, if you're truthful, if you approach it from that place, it's much easier to be authentic than to try to be, do, say anything that doesn't align with you and anything that's not true. The Queen of Swords represents gaining perspective in order to see clearly. So how can you use this new beginning, this fresh start, to see your situation from a different light? And it's imperative that you do see it from a new light because it's a new beginning. Notice if you keep doing the same shit. Stop running it back. Enough. Enough. Look at your goals that you set for the Gregorian calendar new year, January 1st. How far along are you in those goals? We're already in the second quarter of the year. We're in spring. How can you approach this with a new mindset? You've seen how your efforts have gone thus far. How can you make some changes? Be honest with yourself. The Queen of Swords represents delivering difficult truths on a silver platter in order to spur growth. And this could come in the form of you looking yourself in the mirror and being honest with yourself about the circumstances that you're in. I have in my notes for the Queen of Swords, she tosses distractions aside. The Queen of Swords knows how to organize herself and others. She energizes people who will work on her behalf towards a greater cause. The Queen of Swords represents having inner strength and the ability to cope with any situation. So starting something new, a new beginning, you need to have that mental and emotional fortitude. And that mental fortitude comes from the Queen of Swords. And especially since I'm placing this card next to the Bury Your Dead card and the Death card, maybe having that inner strength, having the wisdom that's associated with the Queen of Swords, having sharp, direct, honest truth to cut off and remove the things, people, places, habits that no longer serve you. Being very, very direct about what it is in your life that you need to let go of. Being very honest about what it is in your life that you need to remove in order to really spur growth. Because holding on to shit that doesn't serve you anymore, we're not doing that anymore. Please, just let it go. Let's see what other potential messages we have in store. Oh. Of course, we got the flames, which represents transformation. And the tarot companion card for this, take a wild guess. It's the Tower, exactly. So technically we got another major arcana card. Keywords: transformation, a new you is emerging, release the past. This is the third time that we've gotten this theme. So are we listening? Are we listening? Are you listening? Yep. Dun, dun, dun. If you know the song, drop it in the comments. The flame represents dramatic changes, the kind of changes that are significant, overwhelming, and most likely unpleasant. It's never a good idea to burn bridges, but your situation may be past the point of a favorable outcome. Now, it's more important to cut your losses and begin to rebuild rather than trying to salvage anything from the rubble. Your situation doesn't have to be as ominous as it sounds if you're willing to make the choice to move on. Change can be rewarding if you allow yourself to go with the flow rather than clinging to what is no longer part of your path. If you choose to stay in your current situation, know that there may be severe consequences. This card is a strong warning to avoid self-destruction and making choices you know to be harmful to yourself and others. This is your chance to walk away and to let the new you emerge. If your reading is about love and relationships, consider how your actions may be making things worse or how your temper could be getting the better of you. If your question is about finances, this is a wake-up call to be more mindful of your financial situation. If your reading is about your career, it could mean sudden shakeups at work. It's time for you to make some changes, babes. Honestly, the Tower card, when it shows up, it can be like very crazy and very destructive. The Tower card traditionally represents removing what didn't belong to begin with. So you didn't even maybe belong in that job to begin with. You shouldn't even have been a part of that friend circle to begin with. That person shouldn't even have been your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever, to begin with. Remove what no longer serves you. Ooh, I love this. Okay. it is so fitting that the last card we get is number 1, as this is the astrological new year, and Aries is the first zodiac sign and Ashvini is the first nakshatra. So very auspicious. And this card, number 1, is called knowing. And its keywords are take the first step, trust your soul and intuition. All right, alarms. Hold on, someone's dying apparently. Trust your soul and intuition. Don't wait until you're ready. And the tarot companion cards for this would be the High Priestess and or the Fool card. Every living being on this planet and every celestial body within the universe has an innate knowledge of what to do. You see this intelligence within a flower, telling it when to bloom. It's within animals who migrate, telling them when to seek warmer weather. It's within the planets that circle the sun in perfect synchronization. And it's within you too. Your body knows when to walk and how to develop. Your mind knows how to learn things such as speech, and your heart instinctively knows how to bond with other beings. The intelligence guiding the earth and its inhabitants is that same wisdom that guides your intuition and tells you how to overcome obstacles and which paths may lead to your greatest fulfillment. When the knowing card comes up in a reading, it is your validation that you already know what to do in your situation. This is a sign to stop doubting your brilliance. You can't see it, but your higher self is downloading infinite amounts of information every single moment of every single day, sharing it with you in the form of your dreams, desires, and the things that excite you. Every daydream or fantasy is a glimpse of what could be your future. These are not flights of fancy or delusions of grandeur. This is your higher self backed by your ancestors, spirit guides, and the cosmos, giving you the breadcrumbs that will lead you to your destiny and success. Follow one nugget and another will appear. Then follow that nugget and one more will become available to you, all guiding you step by step towards the best resolution for all involved. Trust that there is a part of you that knows what to do in this situation. And then trust yourself to carry out this guidance in the way that the universe intends. I love that this is the last card of the reading, basically telling you to trust your intuition. Trust your gut feeling. When something feels exciting and happy, that's your gut feeling telling you, yes, go for it. Even if it makes you nervous, even if it makes you scared, do it anyway. Because the worst that'll happen is that you'll be in the same situation that you're in. And then you have that information of like, okay, that path didn't work, let me try another path. If you have like an aversion to something, person, place, energy, don't gaslight yourself. Don't question it. Just accept that that is what it is and move on. Use the death card, that bury that dead, to get rid of those things. This is amazing. I will, of course, take a picture of the spread and place it at the end of this video, but thank you so much. If you watched this video and you found it helpful, let's see, please drop a flame emoji into the comment section to let me and others know that you're a homie, you made it to the end, and you found it helpful. You know what to do. Like the video, subscribe, please share it with a friend, especially if you have a friend who's interested in tarot, who's interested in astrology, and let's start a little community going. And if you want to learn even more about tarot, please head over to patreon.com/The Barista Witch, where I teach you tarot in the Arcana Academy. And if you want me to look at your chart and tell you how this astrological new year or any of the other transits that will be occurring this year, head over to my website. Lots of options. First and foremost, I have my 2026 Cosmic Tea Guide that has every single important transit for all of 2026, every single day of every single month. So every full moon, every new moon, every retrograde, every eclipse, all of it for 365. You can go get that from my website. And then if you want to know how these transits affect you, you can book a reading with me, done on my website as well, where I will analyze your chart, see what's going on, answer any questions you may have, look at how the current transit is affecting you, and we do a lovely tarot spread. And so far, it's been pretty amazing. So thank you so much. I love you. Have a good rest of your day. Happy new moon. Smooches, and bye-bye.